Live from the front lines, welcome to Stats Chat, hosted by Brad Zinda and Kalen Sigecan. This is where strategy meets straight talk. It's bold ideas, real growth, and whatever else hits the mic. This is Stats Chat.
Welcome back to Art and Hills Studio 26. I go with 26 because that is my hockey number, and I really enjoy that number. Matter of fact, 2026 is a great year for me. I feel like because it's my hockey number, I get to celebrate the 26th of every month for this year.
You make sure everyone's aware of that too.
I try.
BZ Day, 26 of March, 26th of April coming up here.
Well, the hope would be is maybe you'd provide lunch or something fun for the day for this great hockey number.
I'm still waiting for that day that you buy us lunch on the 26th, maybe this month.
Well, my hope one day is that I just walk in on the 26th and you guys have it all figured out. I don't have to bring it up anymore. We're almost there. Anyway, welcome back. This is number 5. I still can't believe they let us through the door. I thought we were going to have a guest today. Maybe next time, Tony Shore. We're going to get Tony Shore on with us.
Sure.
Just a great guy, knows the industry inside and out, and does a fantastic job for, I know, not only us, but our advisors out there. So
that's right.
Big topic we're going to get into today. Matter of fact, this one, it is probably the biggest topic in retirement.
And what would that be?
Well, I'm going to call it the foundation.
It is.
You can, for a house, you can do it with poured walls or brick, but I can tell you that this foundation in retirement is absolutely 100% the largest nest egg for the majority of the retirees they will ever have in retirement. So swinging the bat hard on this one to make sure that they are at least optimized with their current situation is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why we're calling this one the most overlooked asset too. I think a lot of people take it for granted, not only clients, but also advisors. Like there's times that we talk to advisors and they don't even know what the income plan looks like with Social Security. Like you said, you got to start somewhere, right? So that base layer of income planning, whether, they're 58, 62, 66, 75, like that is the base layer to start the plan for retirement planning. And that's what we talk about today, right?
Absolutely.
Set that foundation correctly and then know how to fill in the gaps from there.
Yeah. We talk about, our analogy is we don't build a house from roof down. We got to start with the foundation. It's what keeps everything strong. And so think about this. I was looking at some stats the other day on Social Security, but 90% of retirees don't understand their Social Security options. Now, I was blown away by that. That's 90%. And we're talking baby boomers now.
Mm-hmm.
That is a lot of people.
It is. I'd like to know how many millions of people that actually is, but that's a very, very large number. And I think the big thing behind it too is most people just don't know where to go, what to do, who to ask help for. That's mainly why our advisors are hopefully talking to their clients about it, obviously, right? But think about it. These people just constantly pay into it every single paycheck, right? So a lot of people overlook it. This thing called FICA. Right. And it's on every single paycheck you get. If you're a W-2 employee, it's 7.2%, I believe, just over 7%. That's pulled out every single paycheck.
Short disclaimer on that.
That goes for Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, right? But also, if you're an employer, that's 14% you're paying into that, right? Because your employer pays the other half of it. So, people are paying 7% of every single paycheck. And by the way, last time I checked, that is not an option.
No,
I tried to elect out of it. Actually,
you can't. No,
it didn't allow me.
Yeah, this is a forced deal here.
Right. But they pay into it for, people working 25, 30, 40 years at 7%. Do the math on that. That's probably more than most people put in their retirement accounts, I would guess. Right.
There's no question.
They always care about this IRA and 401k and the money they stocked up, but they're forgetting about the 7% they paid every 2 weeks for 30 years. That's a big dollar amount if you think about it.
It does equate to a very large dollar amount. And that's why I'm so interested in this topic because, think about the guessing game here. This isn't a 50-50. For most, if they guess the benefit amount they're going to have, they're going to guess wrong. They just will. And there's a lot that actually goes into this. If you're not healthy, it might be more beneficial to take it early. Remember, this is built off of paychecks, right? The mortality tables, life. They set, hey, listen, males are living to this age, females are living to this age. It's a benchmark that they put out there. And then obviously the paychecks flow from when you start the election of your Social Security to when you pass. So it becomes a numbers game. I'm just saying there's not one perfect scenario here.
Correct.
But if you can literally give it 5 to 10 minutes and look at everybody's situation, especially with what we offer everybody. I mean, something that runs over 20,000 calculations is worth looking at in my mind, especially if it could result in tens to hundreds of thousands of dollars more.
I mean, that's exactly, I think you're kind of teeing up the report there a little bit, but we do have our own software report here. We've been using, our report here for as long as I've been at Gradient now, right? So we've had our own software here. We don't third party at all. It's all in-house. But that's exactly right. Everyone has this idea of like maximizing Social Security, and, you can defer it, and whether you need it or not, and get growth over age 66 till 70 at, 7.2% or whatever the number is on it, 8%. But if you don't live until the exact day that calculator thinks you're going to live to, you're kind of gambling, right? So what we've seen and our advisors really work through is, okay, we can look at maximizing your benefit and what that actually means to you, but what makes the most sense for you, right? Like, should you spend down 200,000 of your own assets, you can quote unquote max Social Security, or would you, rather spend Uncle Sam's and grow your own nest egg, right? So these are the conversations every single day we have with advisors, and I advisors have with clients too, because you have to have them. Now the whole idea of maximizing it is great, but if it doesn't fit into your plan of what you want to do when you want to retire, I mean, you got to look at your options and weigh the pros and cons. And that's what we can do here too with that report. It shows them, it breaks it out 62, 66, 70, what your max benefit is. And they have the ability to show, like, if it's 64 in 6 months, like, what does that look like? That's what I think I want. It'll compare all options that are based on mortality. Yeah.
And what's shocking to me is, we talk to advisors every single day. And for the most part, the advisors we work with daily, they use this report because they know how important it is. But, I've talked to a lot that they actually don't use a Social Security report. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how you can actually put together an income plan without it. If you think about somebody walking through your door, putting a ton of papers in front of you and saying, I need X amount. Let's just go with $100,000 a year.
Yep.
Okay. I want $100,000 a year. I've got my 401k. I've got some other brokerage side money that I've done on my own, and I've got a savings account. How do you put that into play if somebody doesn't know that I might have 30 or 40,000 of those dollars coming from Social Security? Or is it just everybody's guessing? Or might it be they've got a fear of talking this side of it?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, if I both know that if you're not talking about it, you're missing the target completely, right? Because how do you have that conversation with someone that has that goal? And everyone has an idea when they get into retirement what they want on a monthly basis. I don't care who you are. You know what it takes to keep the lights on in your house, okay? To keep the trips once a year, twice a year with the grandkids, to make sure you can hit your car payment if you still have one, right? So
speaking of keeping the lights on, I don't think ours ever shut off. I'm going to do that nickel thing. If you get caught without turning the light off, it's a nickel in the jar.
Oh my gosh.
I think it would overflow every week.
I think the other day I went upstairs, they counted 12 lights on between bedrooms and closets and bathrooms. And yeah, no, but I mean, it is the base layer of income planning. And it's important to know the fundamentals of it. We're not asking people to ever be Social Security experts, right? Because sometimes you run into a really, really odd situation. Majority of the time, our team at Case Central can handle those calls anyways. You just have to understand the fundamentals of it, right? The whole concepts, and this is kind of going back a couple of years here now, Brad. I don't even remember these terms, but restricted application, file and suspend. Like
lots of options.
Yep, they used to be a huge, like, I'm not going to say loophole, but pretty much a loophole in the system. And one of the Secure Acts, kind of changed that, if my memory serves me right. They kind of got rid of those, or they phased them out over a couple of years. So nowadays you don't really hear file and suspend and take half your spouse's benefit while yours gets larger. You can't really do that anymore, but still, just because the loopholes are closed doesn't mean it's something you shouldn't be talking about, right? So it's important to keep that in mind.
Absolutely. And you said, hey, we don't need you to be an expert. But what we've talked about over the last few weeks are ways to position yourself as an advisor to not only uncover things with your clients, but also create that opportunity to show them the things that they aren't being shown by all the other advisors. You are now the standout, right?
Mhm.
You brought an overview back to them and you showed them exactly how they look and feel, who owns it, where it sits, tax type, you name it. And then you had a risk score brought in. They had 11 questions that they took 5 minutes to walk through, and it tied their emotions to their assets. And now all we're saying is, hey, this is going to position you as that true retirement planner. Okay. It can only create for a much better conversation, but ultimately it's going to lead into income planning and asset repositioning, because that's what these reports are designed to do, but also help your client with some of let's be honest, these decisions aren't easy. Social Security, I saw something the other day. Since 2020, the Social Security Administration has closed over 125 offices. Now, I know that a lot of it, maybe they've moved to more of an online platform, but the point is when you close buildings, it becomes harder and harder to figure out who to get a hold of, the process to go through, the help that you need. And so the advisor becomes the bridge to that gap.
Yep. I mean, I thought you were talking about DMVs there for a second, because it seems like DMVs are hard enough to find around the states.
Again, you have to send your tabs in now. Yeah, exactly.
No, I'll joke aside.
Maybe they go hand in hand. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. But I mean, that's exactly true. So, I mean, think about an average retiree right now. If the office down the street from you closed, right? Like, who do you go to? There's no one really to reach out to. And like you mentioned, it's all done online nowadays, or
maybe Facebook.
Hopefully more. Yeah. I don't know.
Facebook. They got those things on Facebook. You can put in, hey, anybody know of a good plumber?
Oh, yeah, those communities.
Yeah. Yeah. Maybe they'll be like, hey, I've got a good Social Security expert you can talk to.
Drop an advisor.
Yeah, there you go.
But I mean, that is the issue that an average retiree runs into, is they don't know what they should do or shouldn't do. That they feel uncomfortable about it. And if you can talk about something, by the way, that applies to every single American out there, right? When you think about, marketing and helping people, rather than try to focus on people over $3 million, like focus on the people that this is something they do every single day, right? It applies to every single individual out there, no matter what your age is, no matter if you're taking it, if your spouse hasn't taken it yet, it still makes a lot of sense to look at it. You have to.
For sure. And this report takes 5 minutes, right? We need a date of birth. We need their PIA or FRA. So let's just talk about what that is. The PIA, primary insurance amount, or full retirement amount, also known as an FRA. These are the set amounts or dates that you are at full retirement, that you can, you're no longer, you got that roll up. If you delay more, if you get more of a roll up on that, but that's really what people look at, is that what is it at full retirement age? And I believe right now, I don't know the dates, but I think it's age 67, and I'd have to go back to figure out when you were born, and there's a certain amount of dates that they look at there. But anyway, the point is name, date of birth, and your FRA or PIA, and we can have this report turned around. And so it is very easy to generate. The power of this punch is incredible. There's no reason not to use it, but also just more confidence going into retirement. This is guaranteed money. I'd like to say guaranteed. Can we say guaranteed? I think we can.
I think we can.
Guaranteed money that they can count on. They've put their money, their nest egg into this their entire life, all the work years, right? And so it's important to try to swing the bat as hard as we can. Now, I also understand, and we talked to advisors about this. Listen, this isn't the end all be all. We just want to know that when they walk in and they walk out, we position them the best way we can. Do things happen along the way? They can derail a retirement plan, right? Maybe somebody gets sick unexpectedly. Somebody dies unexpectedly. There are a lot of things that can happen, but our goal as the advisor is to make sure that we position them in the best way possible to get them the most income that they deserve and need in retirement.
And to talk about the parallel cell, this goes back a while ago too, that we've taught our advisors on over the years, is if you explain Social Security and how it works and how it's guaranteed mailbox money, as we say, right? What better correlation is there when you educate them on Social Security and how it works and how the COLA works and things like that? What better parallel sell is there to educate someone on Social Security than educate them on an income rider, right?
I think they almost work the same.
They're very similar in nature to how they work. We've heard people say before, I wish I could get more Social Security. So like, like all joking aside, that's kind of exactly what an income rider and annuity does, right? And a lot of advisors, either love or don't like income riders, but if you can explain Social Security and how that works, there's no better alternative to kind of transition that part of the income plan to an income rider, except it's instead of it being the 7% they pay their entire life, it's a portion of your 401k to help you get there, right? So it's a parallel sell that works really, really well if explained properly, and it'll make the delivery in the approach of positioning that annuity in their portfolio even easier if you can do that.
Yeah, I've actually had an advisor ask that question because I made this really easy. I knew they were kind of an income story client, if you will, where they just needed that. I like to call it mailbox money.
Right.
You got Social Security coming every day 30. It's going to be there. If you could buy more Social Security, he said, would you? And the client said, absolutely. You are a candidate for an income rider.
Exactly.
It is, it's one of the most powerful pieces because it is an income source you can't outlive.
Mm-hmm.
You can't outlive your Social Security and you can't outlive the income riders per the rules. And so, should we wrap this one up? I think we've got a pretty good.
Yeah, I think so too. Just the impact this will have on people too. And just one last thing here. There are some advisors that say, well, my clients are over 70 years old and Social Security's, they're already on it and there's no need to talk about it. So one thing people forget about, and maybe we can leave it with this, is unfortunately when someone passes away, and it's a numbers game on that, right? Like it's just, it's a matter of time we have left on this earth. There's no question about it, right? It's like death and taxes, right? No way to get around them. But when either spouse passes away, what people forget about is they can take a major reduction in their income that they have, right? So,
for sure.
If I'm the breadwinner, my wife doesn't make as much, like she steps into mine, but then she loses hers, which is at least at a minimum half of what I'm bringing in, right? So, if you make decent money, you can easily get 40, 50, 60 grand in Social Security per year. And all of a sudden half of that is gone. Like that changes what that not only grieving spouse is going through, right? So my point on that is some people say, well, they're already on Social Security. It's not important. It's very important. Even if you're 58 or 74, you got to plan for those things, as another way to just add value to your clients that are a little bit older.
That's a good point. And I appreciate you wrapping up with that. That's a huge deal.
Mm-hmm.
Take us up on this report. We appreciate you guys tuning into our 5th podcast. We're going to keep rolling these out and try to deliver as much value that we can every single week. Next week, stay tuned. Big one coming your way. We're going to talk through the Compass report and how it's tying in the last 3 weeks. This will be a good one. Do not miss. Yeah, we're going to tie it all together. But we are signing off from Studio 26 in Arden Hills. Once again, your favorite the Stats Chat.
Stats Chat. Signing out.
Uber BZ. Got to go pick up kids at Kalen's house. Bye.
Brad and Kalen do not offer investment, legal, tax, or accounting advice and are not affiliated or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any government agency. The opinions herein may be from personal experience and may not necessarily be those of Gradient Financial Group, its employees, or affiliates. Any results, topics, or outcomes are for informational purposes only. Financial professional use only.